Hello, hello. Welcome to another month of Stampin' Society. This month we are sharing our favorite flower bundle that's carrying over into the new annual catalog, and I am a huge fan of Simply Succulents. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. My name is Charlotte Mallet, and you can follow me on my blog at paintedorange.com or on Instagram at iHeartStamps. I thought it would be an awesome idea to pair this bundle with a couple of the new in colors. And this is the card we're going to make. This uses soft succulent, pale papaya, and evening evergreen, three new in colors that are really quite pretty and are perfect for this bundle. First, we're going to score our card base in half. So this is 8 1/2. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. And fold in half using our bone folder. We'll set that aside for a minute. Then, building up on the card, we're going to emboss the soft succulent with the brick embossing folder, like so. This will mount directly to the card base and trim off any excess if needed. So let's do that real quick. Well, looks very good. Okay, I'll set that aside. Now we're going to create this base here. We're going to use a piece of evening evergreen, 3 1/2 by 4 1/4, and we're going to stamp on that using this large succulent image. We're going to create a background pattern using that. So we're going to stamp in the evening evergreen, this new in color here. Got things falling all over the place. Okay, we're going to stamp. We'll ink it up. These pads are nice and juicy because they're brand new, so be aware of that if you're using this new color. And we're going to create a pattern. So one on one side. That looks nice. Maybe one in this direction. And one more to fill in there. That looks great. So I'll lift that up just so you can see that. It creates a nice tone-on-tone pattern. We'll close my ink pad so it doesn't get dry. Then we're going to round all 4 corners, just like I've done on this example here. We're using the detailed trio punch. If you use this punch, it has 3 different corners. I love the corner rounder. It's my favorite. So we're going to round all 4 corners. Just like so. Now you're going to take these vellum doilies, you're going to snip it in half, and we're going to mount one just on the back side like so, as a little detail of lace trim. So we'll just run some, maybe eyeball it from the front side. Yep, just a hint. That's all we want to see. And then we're going to mount this onto our card base using Stampin' Dimensionals. Put that there. Oh, that looks nice. It's pretty as is. We could just send that. Now let's build our pot. So we're going to move this out of the way. And we're going to take a piece of scrap pale papaya and use our pale papaya ink pad. We're going to use the pot. And what I'd like you to do is maybe stamp 2 of these just so that you can play pale papaya on pale papaya. And we are going to take a water brush and we're going to just watercolor in directly on to this pale papaya, just to give it a little bit of dimension on this pot, not a lot. But we're just going to pull in some like so. light's coming from this direction, so my shadows are all on this side. Now, if you need to, squeeze your pad together to go get a little juice in the top to give you some more color. And that's going to be too dark, I can tell already, so that's why having two. Oh, that looks good. And then a little detail this way. I like to stamp two just to give myself options and decide which one I like a little bit better. It's always nice to have one on hand for later. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to add a little more detail just using the Stampin' Right marker. We're going to come back in and just paint. Let's use the paintbrush side. Paint these lips of the pot just to give a little more dimension. That looks good. And then we're going to chop these out using the pot die from the bundle. Okay, we've chopped out this pot using the die. And now we're going to build our plant. You're going to want to take this aloe die and cut out 2 aloe pieces. We're going to flip one of these aloe pieces backwards so that our plant, when we pot it, is big and full and mature, I guess, if you will. We're going to add a little detail to these aloe pieces using a white gel pen. So we're going to take our gel pen and we're just going to kind of add a dotted detail that would kind of be maybe the highlight or the catch light of the plant, but it's just going to add a little bit of dimension, visual dimension. So we're just going to add like so. Same thing for this other one. So again, one on the front side, one on the back side. Just like so. That looks good. And then we're going to mount one on top of the other. What I like to do, add a little bit of adhesive to the back side of the pot and arrange your first plant. Let me see if I can pick that up. A little bit to the left side, like so. Maybe up a little higher and tack that down. And then we're going to take dimensional on the other side to pop this one. We're going to arrange it in such a way that the two overlap, but that we're creating a full potted plant from side to side. And I think that looks pretty good. You don't want to put them at the same. Well, you can if you want, but I kind of like one taller, one shorter, just like so. But then we're going to add a couple dimensionals on the back of this and mount to our label piece, which we cut out with the label die. We're going to mount this onto the right-hand side. Let's remove the backing. Just like so. So it's on the right-hand side of the label, leaving this extra space here. And then this will be mounted here. But before we do that, we're going to add a little bit of this elegant trim in gold. We're just going to roughly wrap it around 2 fingers to create just a little knot, if you will. Not even a knot, just a random bit of twine, like so. And we're going to stick it behind this before we mount it down, tack it down. That looks good. So you just have a little bit of this elegant trim popping out. We're going to add a couple more dimensionals, one on the bottom of this pot. We'll take that off, and we're going to add some adhesive to the back of this, and then we can mount this now to this piece. We're going to want to break this space just a little bit with that piece of aloe. We're going to just tack this down in the bottom there. And I don't believe that's straight. Let's straighten that out. Yeah, just like so. Press that down. Now the greeting, "You've been on my mind." We're going to stamp that onto a piece, just a scrap piece of white cardstock. We're going to trim that out, just like so. And then we're going to chop the words. So we're going to chop "you've been," and then "on my mind." So you're going to have 4 little greetings. You can do this with any of your stamps. I like to do this, kind of makes the greetings look different from card to card. And then we're going to tack a little bit of dimensionals behind these and arrange them on the card. Now, if you look on the example card, the last word is kind of centered on the bottom of the label, and the first word is centered on the top of the label. I suggest you start that way. So put one down and then put the other. That way you can have fairly even spacing between all your words. Very good. You've been on my mind. Kind of fun, a little bit funky. Now we're going to add some of these fantastic in color jewels. They're so cool. We're going to use the lighter color because I like how that pops off the evening evergreen. So we're going to use a big one here, and then maybe a small one here, and then let's do another large one there. And there you have it. Here's this card. This is exclusive to the tutorial. I think this is awesome. It's a cute little aloe plant. Fun way to use this set differently with the background stamp and then creating this plant. I shared this card on my blog, and the step-by-steps on how I created this are typed out there, so you guys can check that out as well. So there you have it. See you next month.